Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barbin. With me is Jeff Dover, and let's talk football.
We're a couple of average football fans who watch college the NFL. We hope to earn your like and subscribe today. This is our review of Wildcard Weekend. What are your initial thoughts?
I can't help but think some of these last-minute drives to win the game is still just the defense being like too soft and too predictable.
That's
Like-
I mean, I looked at it as like great endings. Like this is a historic Wildcard Weekend where there was the most lead changes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So like it was, I don't know why. Maybe you're right. The defenses weren't, being not as aggressive or something. I don't think that was the case in the New England game, but yeah, I mean, it was a great weekend. Those are some great finishes. But you're right. That's in order to have a great finish, someone's given up a touchdown. So
right. Yeah, it's just like the way the Rams just marched down the field. Like you knew they were going to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as like the Panthers took the lead, but there's too much time left. And then they gave up a touchdown. It's just so easy, just so easily. And then the Bears marched down. I'm trying
Josh
to think
Allen, the Buffalo.
Josh Allen,
Bill,
like that whole prevent defense just prevents you from winning. Now I haven't looked at analysis to see exactly what defenses were running, but it can't just be that those teams just put together stellar drives, or is it more consistent that the defenses get soft and predictable and you just march, and it doesn't matter which team, they just march down the field and just march down the field. I don't know. I guess it could be both, because then there was a bit of time left on the clock, so some of those teams had the opportunity to come back and they didn't. But it happens so often. Like you could have from a mile away, you knew the Rams were winning that game, and it's just sad. Like when you see it, you're like, oh, here we go. They're going to go straight down the field, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, I'm the same as you. I hate the prevent defense. I think that on paper it makes sense, because if you just keep everything in front of you and make them matriculate down the field, it takes too long, like in order for them to come back. So like I understand that, but everyone is open. The offense starts clicking, like it is, and even in games where it's like 10-7 or something, like neither offenses look good for three quarters, and then you get a bit of momentum and they start completing a lot of stuff, and which is not a good idea. But a lot of those, like the Rams one you were talking about, in the Bills-Jags game too, it didn't really look like the prevent defense. Like it just looked like offense was executed well, and they were able to execute, get first downs, and move down the field. So it didn't feel like there was a lot of space on the defensive side.
For the Rams one, it did. They were giving up the underneath constantly because they don't want to give up the long shot, but it took them less than a minute to get down to like red zone. It was so quick. I don't know. It just,
yeah, no, I think that out of all so for the overall weekend, it was the Panthers defense. That was the note that I had here, was that that's the reason why they're out like that. And that's the reason why they weren't going to progress past the opening weekend, was their defense. Out of all the teams that played this weekend, that was the weakest unit out of everything that I've seen. So
yeah, I'd put the Chargers offense up against that for the weakest.
Well,
unit.
and true, like that's probably, I'd probably put that second. But I mean, that game was nuts, because that one was, I've never seen it so apparent that a team can't handle the blitz. So like once New England figured out you could just blitz, and they couldn't protect him, and the short passes weren't working. That's all they ran, and they had no answer for that.
Yeah, it was becoming apparent, the Chargers' lack of offensive line starters. I know what did they say? They had 12 different line combinations.
Yeah.
But I mean, most teams aren't going to progress through the playoffs or even get to the playoffs if you take away their starting left and right tackle.
Yes.
And that's just the start of what was missing on that line. Then they're reshuffling people, and people are in and out, and they're just, and I can't believe Collinsworth's like, oh, it wasn't the offensive line. I'm like, yeah, it was. They were getting killed.
It absolutely was. Because part of it is the physical blocking, which they struggled with. But part of it's also like calling out the right protection, making sure they know, like there was a couple times where they like double team one guy and another guy came free. Like that is an offensive line thing. So
there needs to be cohesion there. And for them, the drop off is enormous, because their tackles, when they're in, probably the best, tackle
Yeah.
combination.
Yes.
When Alt and Slater are in, you could make the argument that's the best tackle
Yeah.
combination. So they
Well,
go
and
from the
it's
best
key.
to whatever.
Right. And it's key for the way they play football too. Like that team is designed around running the ball, keeping possessions low. The defense gives up some yards, but like nothing, no big plays, and make it earn it. And the whole thing is designed around that. So once the offensive line is not good, then you have trouble. They could not run the ball against New England. They had 87 yards, but 57 was Herbert, which was more like hero ball. That was another note that I had from the Wildcard weekend, was that how many quarterbacks, like, they put everything on their shoulders. Now, again, it's the most important position in football, but like Herbert and Allen and Williams for Chicago, like it was so apparent at one point where it's like, okay, it's all on you to get this done. And in Allen's case with Buffalo, they were able to get it done. In Herbert's case, they weren't, because he was getting zero help.
You know, it's crazy. The Chargers defense only gave up 16 points. That's out of all the teams, that's like one of the best defensive performances of the weekend. Actually, is it the best other than the Patriots?
Yeah,
Like,
score-wise, yeah. Like the New England still had 235 yards passing and 146 rushing. No,
but I mean, out of all the teams that
points.
weekend, the two best defensive performances were in that game.
Yeah. Yes.
And they lost. If you only give up 16 points in an NFL game, you should win every game.
Yes.
Like if you told me the Chargers are only giving up 16, I'm like, all right, well, they're advancing.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't believe that was a blowout. You give up 16 points and you basically had no chance. No chance in that game.
Yeah.
Man, the Patriots, I mean, we're kind of just jumping around here. The Patriots look good. I mean, the interesting thing now that the Eagles are out, the only recently experienced Super Bowl quarterback left is Stafford. Like, I don't even consider Rodgers. I think as of time of recording, that game hasn't happened yet. I think they're out. Like, Rodgers is not going to.
I hope so. We got 2 bets on Houston winning, so I hope we got that.
So we have Stafford's been to the Super Bowl and won it. Purdy has been to the Super Bowl. Really, your two experienced quarterbacks are Stafford and Purdy.
Yeah, I guess Allen, I would argue, is
no. I mean, who've been to the Super Bowl,
right?
Actually, been there.
Yeah.
Purdy has gone overtime against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Allen's never even made the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So on the East, what am I saying? AFC, you'd have to say Allen is
the most experienced one left. Yeah.
So I mean, again, excluding Rodgers, but I don't think that means that they're the favorite to go. I mean,
No, it's still pretty wide open, I think, even after this weekend and seeing like who's won and who's out.
Yeah.
That was just to finish up your point too about Philip. Well, so the other note that I had here was an overall wild card weekend feeling was like the drops were a really big problem. Like, especially AJ Brown, like a veteran receiver for the Philly, and Keenan Allen for the Chargers. Like, there was some key drops in both those games, and that's just like, it can happen. It shouldn't happen at this level, especially like some of the ones that like hit you right in the hands and you literally just drop it. But with those veteran players, like, it was just so. If you're a Philly or a Chargers fan, like, those so disappointing. That's why they're there, is to catch those balls, and so that was tough to see.
Yeah, AJ Brown, with all of his like arguing about getting the ball, and he played terrible.
Yep.
Like, he needed to. Okay, so in that game, specifically the 49ers Eagles game, the Eagles' best players were not their best players.
Yep, great call.
I think Brown's going to be gone from that team, and good riddance. I mean, he's just causing more distraction than anything. And then in the biggest moment, he didn't come through. And for the amount of money he gets paid and for how good he is, okay, fine. You get the ball thrown to you. You don't make the play. What are you doing? This is one and done. There is no game after this one. Like, that's it. And so that was actually surprising, because he just normally makes the play.
Yeah.
So whatever was going on there, but the even more impressive thing in that game, or the more remarkable thing, is the 49ers like piecing that team together with. I mean, did you hear what they said? That starting linebackers weren't even on the team a month ago.
Yeah.
And they had like combined like 18 tackles or 20 tackles. Like, they were just flying all over the field.
No, and in losing Kittle, and it like in addition to all the numerous injuries that that team has had,
Mhm.
that was a real like gut check performance, and it was that was a game was really Philly played terribly. Hurts, that was the worst I've seen Hurts play in some time too.
Yeah.
You know, and AJ Brown had a bad game, but San Francisco really gutted that one out, and that was impressive. Like the Purdy really hung in there. McCaffrey was that's the best he's looked in a while, and Demarcus Robinson had like just a career game. So hats off
Yeah,
to
so
them.
so that this is an example of you don't know what you actually have until they have to play. So kind of like Kamani Vidal on
Mhm.
on
The
the
Chargers.
Chargers. You don't know that you didn't until you had to start him. You didn't know you had a starting caliber running back at whatever running back number 4, I guess he was
Mhm.
on the depth chart, 3 or 4. But he's every bit good as whoever else was starting. I mean, he just
Mhm.
can get it done, right? He can block, he can run, he can catch. He can do everything you need your starting running back to do, and that
Mhm.
was born out of necessity. Like you just had to start him, and now they know. Oh, we've got another starting totally capable starting running back here. But then with the Niners, they just found out they can go 6 or 7 deep. I don't even know what you call the depth when they're not even on the team.
Yeah.
Like a
Like
month
it.
ago, these guys aren't even on the team. So whatever level of depth that is, so
Mhm.
that's I mean, now
Scout
you
team or beyond.
scout team and beyond, right? And
Yeah.
whoever you can sign who's not currently in the NFL or not currently on a roster, they just went that deep and found out, oh, we can win a playoff game with these guys at linebacker who are theoretically they're just going to get better because they're just gelling now.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah. No, that
theoretically, they're
was
just gelling now.
everyone we talk about like a lot of our reviews, a lot of our game reviews that we do, the people point out injuries all the time. Well, we didn't have this person, we didn't have this person, but it happens to every team. First of all, that's why we don't really talk about it too much. But also, this is a really good point you're bringing up. These are the notable times when it's like next man up kind of mentality, and how you need to have it, and how amazing it is when it does happen. Like when they're that like people came out of nowhere to have great games, and that's one of the main reasons why San Francisco's moving on. Like you said, that Philly only had 19 points too, and so it's
Yeah.
like the Niners defense was a big part of this
It's
game.
unbelievable. So they have no Bosa, their star defensive end who's getting top 5 money. They have no Fred Warner. I think he's the highest paid middle linebacker and probably the best in the league.
Mhm.
They don't have like we said, they don't have not only do they not have Warner, they don't have his backup or his backup's backup, right? We're on to
Mhm.
whoever at that point. Um, Ricky Pearsall, the receiver
Yep.
that was supposed to kind of Ayuk is out of commission, gone, dumped
Mhm.
28 million a year on a guy who never plays. Ricky Pearsall supposed to take up that slack. He's not playing. So
Mhm.
now they're down to Demarcus Robinson, who was actually buried on the Rams depth chart. And I think, and he balled out. He was the
Yeah, he
player of the
did.
game.
He was the
And
player of the game.
and if you saw him with the Rams last year when he did get in, he's pretty good. It's just the
Yeah.
Rams were so stacked at receiver, there
Mhm.
was not really any room for him to get on the field. So he was, or whenever it was for the past couple of years. So every now and then he'd get out there and you're like, oh, this guy's pretty good. But there's
Mhm.
just so many better players ahead of him. You kind of don't even know you have, or maybe the league, the NFL in general, doesn't know there's this great player just somewhere on the depth chart in the Rams because you're
Mhm.
just seeing the studs that are on the field, and you don't
Mhm.
know there's another stud. He just doesn't get on the field that much, and then he totally showed up in the Niners games, and so they are the example of next man up, and they've been doing it all season for so long. I think they're a pretty dangerous team just for that reason that they've long since it just doesn't affect them anymore. They just know they're next man up. I mean, their number one, their first round draft pick, Mykal Williams,
Mhm.
the defensive lineman. And I'm stopping short of calling him an edge because he's so big and so strong. They put him over tackle, or sorry, they put him tackle edge wherever they want,
Mhm.
and he was it. Like he
Yeah.
was really rounding into form. Then he blows his leg out.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's just unbelievable how many players they just took away from this team, and injuries took away from this team. But the one key thing you have is probably the best offensive player in the NFL in Christian McCaffrey. And as long
Yeah.
as he's around, you got a chance.
Yeah, and I and a lot of this, excuse me, is the success in the NFL, especially this time in the playoffs, is health. Like if who's healthy, and everyone talks about that. But I think that was really the difference with the Niners is that they've adapted to the injuries better than most other teams. Like, and whether that's their talent evaluation deep in the roster, how they coach them, right? Because who knows, like your fourth or fifth linebacker is not getting the same attention as like the starting ones, or you know what I mean? So I think that that really says something about the staff and everything, the coaching staff that they've had, to putting them together. So like because they've reacted almost the best. Like same with the Rams. The Rams have had a lot of injuries too, and so they've adapted the best, which is why they're moving on from Wild Card weekend.
Yeah, have you seen the memes about sacrificing players weekly to the gods to keep McCaffrey healthy?
No.
So it's like it's just every time a player goes down, there's somebody started a meme saying, I think players are being sacrificed in order to preserve McCaffrey. So when Malik Neighbors went down, it's like, oh, here goes another one. And then there's another one of Shanahan looking at like this bloody page with like this upset look on his face. And the meme is about him having to choose what's the player that gets sacrificed this week to keep McCaffrey healthy. And this week the gods demand Mac Jones or whatever. But it's just funny because he's that good. He's so good that they have a chance. As long as he's on the field, apparently, no matter who else is on the field, as long as he's on the field, you have a chance. And I mean, I think they have as good a chance as anybody in the NFC at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I think someone else that as long as they're on the field, they've got a chance is the Bears with Caleb Williams, because we haven't even talked about that yet. That was a pretty historic comeback. Like, because that was 21-3, right?
It was 18-point comeback, yeah.
21-3 at the half, and Williams is yelling at the sideline and looks like things are unraveling, but man, hats off to them for the defense turning it around in the second half, because some of the Green Bay scores was so fast and the turnover, and that was part of it, but the defense bowed up and they never gave up. Williams looked really good. Like that might be a real turning point for him in his career.
Yeah, and the pieces they're adding, like Burden is rounding into form, even though it's just his first year. Odunze,
Loveland was amazing.
Loveland. I think he's going to win offensive rookie. It's between him and McMillan, but it might be Loveland. He's just showing up big time. So they've hit on some pieces here. Manungai, this is what happens when you hit on a bunch of picks, like around. Okay, so obviously Williams, that has to work. The QB has to work kind of no matter what round you pick him in. But when you start hitting on wide receiver number 1 to go with him, then number 2 to go with him, then a stud tight end to go with it, like now all of a sudden you've got like and they've built a good offensive line around him. Yeah. So it's all kind of coming together there. But in that game, to me, one of the most glaring things was it was the worst game management I think I've ever seen by a head coach.
Just like the last minute you're talking about specifically.
Well, the last few minutes, they take a delay of game after coming out of a timeout.
Yeah, that can't happen.
And then that pushes them back to the point where they miss a field goal, or it makes the field goal more difficult than it needed to be, and then they miss a field goal. Then the next drive, on defense, they can't get themselves sorted out, take another timeout because they just can't get lined up. And then when you see how that game ends, you think those 2 timeouts mattered?
Yeah.
Like when they had the ball and then on that final drive, when they really needed the timeouts that they didn't have, one of their players gets hurt, can't get up off the field, run 10 seconds off the clock there too. Now I know that's an injury, but okay, so this might be really, really harsh. If there's any possible way you can get up and limp off the field, you get up and limp off the field, because that essentially sealed the game by running those 10 seconds off. Yeah,
I mean, it's really tough because if you're walking slowly off the field and that's as fast as you go and they just snap the ball, like then No,
it was a Packers player, offensive player.
No, I get that, but it's like they don't stop the play clock if you're like taking the time running up, you know what I mean? So you're sort of told to stay down. Otherwise, like if it takes you too long to get off the field, then they can't get the sub back on.
Right. Yeah.
So, but those were all, that was a really terrible, it was such a good game. And as soon as Chicago scored, you're like, oh, they've left too much time, because it was like over a minute left. But like you said, it's now when you have the they had one timeout left, I think, and
Just
and it's
one.
and it
Yeah.
and it but it was it was a really it's just a brutal that stuff shouldn't happen. There's so many coaches, there's so many assistant coaches and staff, so many people in your ear. Everyone knows you have to have 2 plays called and stuff. Like there should never be a delay like that. And it was such a good game. And it's really crappy that it ends like that, which is purely just like an execution point, like as opposed to like on the field, you know?
Well, they definitely didn't do themselves any favors with their game management.
Yeah. No,
Like
for sure.
the delay of game after a timeout. We don't actually know what they could have looked like if the game was managed better, at least clock management and just organization. I mean, you take a timeout just because you can't get lined up on defense. That is Bush League stuff. Like, what are you doing? So I don't know and then there was the handshake, the drive-by handshake afterwards. I don't know what that's all about. Is there really anything? Those guys have a beef, or is he just playing up, or is Johnson just playing up the Bears Packers like historic rivalry? Or
I'm not sure what it was, but it really was a drive-by handshake.
Yeah, I don't think Lafleur cared either, though. He didn't even look at him.
No,
like I don't think either of them really care. But
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think that was a bit of a classless move, or?
I mean, I think that there were afterwards, like when the Bears coach was addressing the team, he literally said like "fuck the Packers," like in terms of it, you know. But part of it was because I think some of the Packers players had said something like, "Yeah, we don't have any problem playing the Bears," like in terms of for the seating or something. So I think that was part of it too. But either way, people are overreacting to like you can't. People say stuff like that all the time. Like the other team's not supposed to like you when you're going into a game. The other team's trying to win too. So you can't take that stuff personally.
Yeah, I think I saw something where Johnson said he enjoys beating the Packers twice a year back when he was the coordinator for the Lions or something.
I think that's what it started. And then they asked the Packers players that prior to this week, and they said, I don't mind playing the Bears. And then
that's fun.
Stuff.
You know, it's fun to have rivalries, right? That's like a touch of like the college football degree of like a, vitriol, whatever you want to call it, the true hatred in some of those rivalries. I mean, it's all in good fun, but it's just makes for something to talk about.
Yeah. And how good was Romeo Doubs too? Like that guy he's really a good receiver for the Packers. Everyone played pretty well. The number of fumbles was a bit much, like, cause I think the Green Bay had like 4 fumbles, but not all of them led to turnovers, but the Jordan Love went 24 for 46. It wasn't a great completion percentage, but 323 yards for 4 TDs. Like only got sacked
and Watson
once.
had a chance to win the game too. I mean,
Yes,
there were chances. This isn't. It's not like the Bears ran away with it, but the comeback was outstanding. And I kind of did believe that even with the game mismanagement, I thought the Packers are going to do this. Like I have the faith in Jordan Love that he can do it, but now I have the faith that Williams can do it too.
Yep.
So he's it. He's the franchise. I think he's proven at this point, especially with Ben Johnson, and especially how he's unique. He can play. He can make the wild play. He being Caleb Williams, he can make the wild play when needed, like his whatever that is that he has, that hero ball thing. But now he's also can run the offense in its current proper structure. Where he doesn't immediately revert to hero ball, so he can actually get through his reads, throw anticipation throws. I mean, he's got the arm, the physical talent's through the roof. It's can he settle in and actually run the offense as it needs to be run? And the better he gets at that, the even more effective he's going to be when it breaks down, and he can still get.
He's always going to have that talent, like you said, right? He's always going to have that, be able to break outside the pocket and make something happen like that. That's just ingrained in his DNA. But you're right; it's the more of the management stuff that he has gotten better at. Like that, it really was in the first half. Like Green Bay, there was a couple of turnovers. Green Bay scored quickly, and then some of the Chicago going for it on 4th down, like on their own 30 and stuff, seemed a bit much. But once that was over, like the second half was more like that was a really buttoned up Chicago team.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting now that we don't have the Eagles in anymore, and we don't have the Chiefs in anymore. So it kind of it feels, as soon as the Eagles got beat there, it really did feel like, man, anybody can go now. I know the Rams, you could argue, are the incumbent now because they're the most recent of what's left. They're the most recent to win the Super Bowl with at least Stafford and that's the coach, that's the QB who's recently won a Super Bowl. So you'd have to argue that's who you think is. I don't know. They're the elder statesman. They're the only one left who's won a recent Super Bowl. But I don't think it's obvious that they're. I think anybody in the NFC can go, all four of them. It's not obvious to me which one's really got an edge over anybody that's left.
No, it's Bears, Rams, and I could see either team winning that one.
Sure.
It's Seahawks, Niners. I think Seahawks are a better team, but I could see the Niners winning. Like that, that was not completely out of the realm of possibility. Broncos, Bills is the other matchup now, and then it'll be Patriots playing the winner of the Steelers, Texans. So I think anything could happen with those games.
And the Bills smoked the Broncos last year. So, I mean, now the Broncos, I think, are a better team, but okay. So this is my other thought. If you just go QB, are you, and you look at each game, are you betting on Purdy or Darnold? I'm betting on Purdy.
Yeah, probably.
Are you betting on
Williams or Stafford?
Stafford? I mean, Williams is, but right now, a smart bet would be Stafford, not Williams.
Yeah, I mean, it's arguably the MVP, right?
Right. So are you betting on Josh Allen or Bo Nix?
Yeah, probably.
And then are you betting on Drake Maye on either CJ Stroud or Rodgers? I mean, to me, it probably Maye, no matter who it is on the other side.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But when you think of it that way, it's like, oh, it kind of just seems to shake out to Allen versus Stafford, which I think is, I haven't looked at the odds. I'm assuming that's probably the most likely Super Bowl at this point if they've redone. I guess they have to kind of wait to see what happens with the Steelers.
Yeah.
But that to me is what people might think, just because Allen's the current MVP. Stafford is probably going to win it now, and he's been there, and nobody in the AFC's been there, but Allen's been the closest, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to think about the AFC right now. It's going to be interesting though. We're going to get something completely different. And in that, speaking of Allen, in that game, I really thought the Jags were going to win that one. And two turnovers, you can't. And when they turned over the Bills, they didn't capitalize on the kick return.
No.
Punt or kick, and then they didn't. I don't think they got anything. I think they turned it over on downs there, or did they get a field goal? Whatever it was a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, there. It was only 2 turnovers to 1, but it felt way bigger. The Jacksonville ones felt colossal, when they happened. So that was big, and Buffalo really won the time of possession that one too, with 33 minutes to 26. So that was part of it. But this just felt like, this is what I felt like going into it, is just that just Josh Allen is going to be, it's going to be like a hero ball type situation. He's just not going to let his team lose, which is really what it looked like. Especially he got beat up with his hand, and he's still coming off the other couple injuries, but he played great. And that was just, to me, was like he won it for them. So
yeah, and he's the X factor. Okay, if there's an X factor player left in all of it, it's probably him.
Yeah,
like as good as Stafford is, Allen still can do that Superman thing, and can just, if they have to have it, who do you pick for the game-winning drive out of all the QBs left? Allen right now, until someone proves they're as consistently good at doing it as Allen, I guess is the way to say it. And he got banged up. He hit his finger on a helmet. Then on that same drive, he also got his knee dinged up. And then there was something, they just kept showing him getting beat up. And same with Herbert.
Oh my God. I was just going to say, him and Herbert, and they looked like both of them had rough days at work.
Yeah. It's, good. Maybe they can survive it because they're so big, but at some point that's going to catch up with them. I'm guessing it. Herbert's playing with a broken hand.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't just keep, and is it just me, or does it look like when Herbert runs, it's like he gets hit more violently somehow than other quarterbacks? I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't look like he knows how to protect his body at the end, or he doesn't care. He's just going for more yards, and he's so long. There's just so much surface area to hit. It just looks like he gets hit really hard, really often. I don't know. There's just something about the violence of how often he seems to get hit, like pretty aggressively.
He's a big guy, and he runs pretty upright. So I feel like it's it feels like it's a big target, but he does get clocked. That was the most like sacks out of all the Wildcard games. Like he got sacked a lot.
And he was just under pressure the whole time.
Yeah. So, but it's like 6 sacks is too many, to overcome.
Yeah. I guess the last note I had here is the Eagles, are they kind of, is there big question marks with this team moving forward here? I mean, that offense is just dreadful.
It's the worst I've seen them play. But what's interesting about it too is that like Barkley still had like 100 yards rushing, so like you would have thought that in a low scoring game, Barkley has 26 carries for 106 yards. Like that would be fine. Like you wouldn't have to do much passing to like be successful, especially with that defense. But Hurts went 20 for 35, which is not good for 168 yards. He was only sacked once, but it was like that was really their offense that couldn't get stuff going. Going into this, everyone was really worried about the Niners defense, saying like they're not good. And we just talked about the linebackers who are amazing, who are like aren't on the team. Like this is the type of defense that the Philly should have more success with.
Yeah. And 170 yards for Hurts. I think he would have had 70 yards maybe in the second half. It's bad. And this is a consistent theme where they show up for maybe half a game.
Yep.
For the second half of the season, I was kind of scanning their points total, but then specifically when you dig in, they'll disappear for entire halves of games.
Yeah.
And their defense was just bailing them out constantly. And it's not like the defense gave up a ton of yards here. They just, they had to. I mean, the Niners had to pull out the option, the halfback option play or receiver option play. That I didn't know Jennings was like a highly rated quarterback coming out of high school.
Dual threat, I think. Yeah, and that was like, the Niners ended up with 361 yards, but like a lot of it came on that one play to McCaffrey. Like that was so.
Well, and then Demarcus Robinson had a couple big ones, and Jennings himself had a big catch, and then that play, my goodness, that play. And so the Niners' best players were their best players.
Yes,
the Eagles' best players were not their best players. Maybe Barkley, but definitely not Hurts. Definitely not AJ Brown. Devontae Smith was like okay, but there was just on
too
defense,
many penalties. Key penalties for the Philly too, which has been one of their problems too, calling cards in the past.
And man, that crowd gets so quiet, and then they only pipe up when they're booing their own team.
Yeah,
like it's. I mean, Philly's only a home field advantage when they're front running, but when they're struggling, that crowd turns on them so quickly. Now, maybe I don't know do all crowds do this. I feel like theirs is exceptionally harsh towards their own team. Like when they see a couple
Boston
incomplete
fans
passes,
might feel the same way, but yeah, that's Philly. That's absolutely what's happening.
Yeah, that's a rough crowd. I mean, it's a catch-22. When they're excited, they're really there making noise. But man, when they're upset, that's got to feel lousy. It's just got to feel lousy. I mean, it's bad enough that you're losing a game, and then your crowd's just jumping all over you, booing you because you can't complete a pass, or it's just, man, that's got to be the worst feeling. It's like that's not even a home field advantage when in a close game for them. They need to be on the road so their own fans at least aren't booing them.
It happened with the Phillies this year or last year too. With they booed a couple of times, and I remember that was the the outfielder strikes out all the time, but he hits a lot of home runs. But he was the leadoff guy, and he had a good reaction to it, where he's like, "They're right, and we're gonna play better." And I wouldn't turn. These are the best fans, and he handled it really well. But
you can never attack your fans. That's just, you get run right out of town. Well, I mean, do you have a sense as who's going here, or?
No, I think this is still the wide open play. Like I wouldn't be surprised any of those teams won and move forward, or anyone lost and did. Like I could see it going any which way. So I mean, I think the Seahawks having a week off, and the Niners, their defense being so limited, other than that performance against Philly, like I'd have a hard time not putting Seattle at least into the semifinals. I do feel pretty at Seattle too. I think is always a tough place to play. I don't know if I think it's really wide open in the AFC, because I think any of those teams could, they'll put it that way. I think someone from the NFC is going to win it. That's what I think.
Oh, really?
The Super Bowl. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have no sense of it at all. I could see Darnold. I could see Darnold having another one of his playoff collapses, but I could also see him playing really well. That's the thing with him. Like we've yet to see it actually happen, and last year it did not go well.
Yeah, so. He's had an amazing regular season, and then there was the couple playoff things which made it look pretty rough. But we'll see. I mean, if the Niners have an amazing defensive performance again with the roster of the people that they have, like guys who weren't on the team like a month ago, and Darnold has that problem again, like that's going to be a pretty epic collapse.
Well, they didn't give up very many points to them in their final game of the season. They just couldn't score at all.
Yeah.
And it started this more or less what the Eagles game looked like until they pulled a few crazy plays out. So it might end up looking like that again.
Maybe.
But yeah, we'll see.
Seattle -7 right now, early line.
Seattle -7. I'd take the Niners on that one.
I figured you would.
Yep. All right. You got anything else on your notes?
That's it for me. It's a good weekend. A lot of really good football games. A lot of lead changes. A lot of close game, one possession games. Great football weekend.
What is your feeling for tonight's game?
I really want Houston to win because we've got 2 bets on that one. We've got Houston just -3, but we also have them with the parlay with the Patriots winning. So that was the one going into this weekend. That was the one I felt the best about. You really like the Panthers, the Rams not covering the 10 points, which was right about the Rams. But I'll be shocked if the Steelers win. So I just feel like the Texans are so much better.
It's just that defense. I know that the Texans' offense is limited, but I just can't see the Steelers, with the way they're constructed on offense, moving the ball that effectively. I mean, maybe the elements will have something. It's going to be cold.
Yep.
But
no, and you can tell about the total is like 38.5. It's like it's pretty low. So
I don't expect either offense to like shoot the lights out or anything. But head to head, is Rodgers going to be able to deal with what's probably the best pass rush in the game all game long versus whatever? I mean, the Steelers' pass rush is no joke. I mean,
and I think Stroud is good though. Like I think that they have enough playmakers that they can get something done on offense, and it won't have to be much.
Now they have Metcalf back, but Metcalf hasn't this year seemed like an overwhelming presence when he's on the field.
No, and that so any of those, if any of those people can step up, that'd be great. But
yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. I'll be in Vegas for that one. I'm getting on a plane in a couple hours here. Might be at the Bellagio.
Good place to watch it.
Bellagio Sportsbook to watch that.
There you go.
Yeah. Might have to book a couch. All right. So that's all I got on my notes. All right. You good?
Yeah, it's good for me.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. We appreciate you checking out the channel, especially if you've made it to this far. If you like what we have going on and you'd like to support us, a like and a subscribe would go a long way, and we'd really appreciate it. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barbin, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.